The original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were known for their wild adventures and stories filled with high stakes and ninja action. But sometimes, the adventures that seem the smallest reveal the most about who they are. Join me as I explore one of those tales. There's No Place Like Home, where a simple act of kindness on New Year's Eve leads our heroes into a wholesome adventure. This story was published in Tales of the TMNT, Volume 2, Number 66, in January 2010. If you know TMNT history, that means that this was near the end of the run. The property had recently been sold to Viacom, and the Tales title was winding down. For Dan Berger, who wrote this story, there was probably some pressure, as only 5 more stories would take place in the original universe. The story also had art by Jim Lawson, letters by Eric Talbot, a cover by Lawson and Steve Levine, and a frontispiece by Michael Dooney. As for the placing of the story, it's hard to know, but it clearly happens between volumes 2 and 4, closer to volume 4. As I mentioned, the story takes place on the evening of New Year's Eve. As they prepared to watch some games with Casey, Donnie and Mikey went to the roof to fix the satellite dish. While Donnie worked on it, Mikey got distracted by a mother and her son on the street, putting up missing posters for their dog Appa. For Mikey, helping Donnie wasn't critical anymore. He needed to help that kid find his dog before the start of the new year. Donnie protested, but had no choice but to follow Mikey to ensure he didn't get in trouble. And also to convince him to get back and fix that dish for Casey, or risk having him in a foul mood for the rest of the year. Back at the apartment, Casey's game started, and the signal was still very poor. Wondering what happened to Donnie, he decided to go up and check on them. Leo and Raph followed him. On the roof, they realized they were missing and that something must have happened, as Donnie wouldn't have left the dish unfinished. Raphael lamented letting Mikey go with him, as he probably invented some wild goose chase just to get out of work. Nevertheless, Leo was concerned, so they decided to look for them. Mikey and Donnie eventually found a dog that looked exactly like Appa, but to their surprise, they noticed the dog being chased by a member of the Mad Hatton Militia Gang, a xenophobic organization motivated by conspiracy theories involving aliens. They were stealing the dogs to ask for ransom money and therefore fund their cause. The turtles chased the gang member and soon cracked open the case when they found the rest loading the dogs into cages on their fish market truck. This resulted in a fight they won. But they still needed to get to the end of this dog-napping caper and decided to take the truck back to their base at the fish market. Donnie tried getting the address from the GPS, but was only getting a poor signal. Mikey, however, found the actual address in the truck's registration, proving that all he needs to be like his brothers is motivation. Unfortunately, Appa went missing again during the fight. But Mikey wasn't the only character in this story defying expectations. Casey also noticed the missing dog posters on the street, and quickly figured out that it couldn't be a coincidence, and that Mikey and Donnie probably got involved in solving a ransom money operation. To be fair, this is totally something up Mikey's alley. At the fish market, Mikey and Donnie realized there were even more dogs in cages. Trying to free them, they started a fight with the rest of the Mad Hatton militia, but eventually got overpowered, tasered, and caged. For the gang members, this was a golden opportunity. Confusing them with aliens, this was all the evidence they needed to justify their cause to the media. Things had suddenly gotten worse. Meanwhile, Casey and the other turtles ran into a dog that looked a lot like Appa, who started yapping at them. This reminded Casey of Lassie, the TV show about a very smart dog that would often do this to make people follow her. With this in mind, Casey, Leo, and Raph followed the dog to the fish market. There, they started a big fight with the militia, allowing Mikey and Donnie enough distractions to let them free themselves from their cages and free all the dogs. A wild, unforgettable showdown followed. Turtles, dogs, and Casey taking down the militia in a hilarious but intense skirmish. When it was over, the turtles found the real Appa still in a cage. Casey then checked the tag of the dog they followed and discovered her name was Lassie. She was probably related to Appa. They spent the rest of the night returning the dogs to their families, including Appa and Lassie. This tale captured the essence of each turtle in a way that felt true to their characters. Mikey was easily distracted, but motivated by empathy. Donnie was obsessed with solving everything with technology. Raphael was motivated by action, and Leo was motivated by responsibility. In contrast to the militia's warped sense of protecting humanity, the turtles' actions showed genuine compassion. Overall, the turtles triumphed not just because of their ninja skills, but because they cared for each other enough to investigate what happened. And just to reinforce that point even more, Lassie was also doing the same for Appa. In the end, it was their loyalty to each other and compassion for others that saved the day and brought all those families back together with their furry friends. What do you think of this adventure? Do you agree that one of the strengths of the turtles is their family connection? Let me know in the comments. Happy New Year! See you in the sewers.